Hi, this is Dave Quinn, and this is my reflection for the Cool Tools aspect of Tier 2 of the leadership seminar. So, the tool that I really liked was a tool called TeamPut, which Joyce showed us, but it really dovetailed nicely with a lot of the work that Charlie was doing in our class in terms of facilitating change and facilitating new leadership initiatives. And I wanted to show like a couple of its capabilities and talk about how um, it might be useful in kind of a brainstorming or facilitating change. Um, so it's a collaborative tool that allows multiple people to be working on it at once. And you can see up here, there's one person working on it. That's me. I can invite others to um, the canvas by sending an email or an invitation link. Um, but what really kind of stuck out with me is the templates that are embedded. And Joyce had said that the group at TeamPut were really good about um, updating potential templates based on user needs. So I can see it potentially embedding um, other templates from that leadership guide that Charlie provided us in here if we wanted to continue it or if we didn't want to use Google Docs. So one of the things that I really want to do that contextually fit with the group that I'm going to be working with is a SWOT analysis, and what I liked about this was that it was already built in to the template. Okay, so in a SWOT analysis, an organization looks at its strengths. All right, so strengths are, as Charlie defined them, the initial strongholds, the things that the organization does well. The opportunities are kind of looking towards the future, so how do our strengths lead to different opportunities? Now, there's also negative, so this is the W of the SWOT. So what are the weaknesses? What are the things that we don't do well now? And then the threats in the future, what could our weaknesses make us vulnerable to be susceptible to later on? And what's interesting, and Charlie points this out, but it's nice that it's here as well, is that your strengths and weaknesses are internal, whereas the opportunities and threats are often external. So it helps members of any organization to kind of take a 360-degree review of what's going on in their organization and what's actually outside their organization, so they can stop and think, because a lot of times we get caught up in the um, day-to-day minutia of what's going on internally that we don't always see what's going on externally that may be impacting us both short and long term. What's great about TeamPut is that it's got so many resources available so that people can who are unfamiliar with the process are able to understand it very quickly. You've got a video on how to do a SWOT analysis. You've got a PDF guide, the facilitator guidelines. So if I were running this, what I would want to do prior to running this event, all right? Right click on the PDF, so giving extra instructions on how to make it work, and then how to zoom in and out. And then again, going back to if there's a template like you'd like to see or share, click on the blue and white question to send us a note. Again, they're really looking to um, add things that their people need. So, one of the things I get concerned with tools is that they are here today but gone tomorrow, are not as useful. And this tool really seems to be, um, human and user centric, which was a running theme of our change um, articles that we've been reading, particularly in knowledge management. So I thought that this really aligns well with kind of our overall philosophy. So one of the strengths, so what can you do with this? If you click on the icon with the pen and the paper, you notice that you can add files, you can add videos, you can just add a link to the video, or YouTube or Vimeo. Going back to this, you can add a action list. So say we decided that based off of our SWOT analysis, we want to take um, a develop a list of things that we want to do next. So let's say we give them the strength SWOT analysis um, for one PD session. They have time to look over and add to it. And then by the next session, we're going to go over it, and then we can add a action list of steps we want to take based off of this SWOT analysis. It's great. Some people like to speak through imagery, so you can add an image to any one of these boxes or the canvas in general. And then you could also add a PDF if you wanted to add some reading or some, um, a CSV or data table. Now, the add note is kind of the primary function, and you can add a link. You can break the link. It gives you all options in terms of how you want to set up that note. But I'm thinking like bigger picture here in that what we know from the research on meetings is that not everyone who would be a willing participant in sharing ideas does so in a verbal manner. Either they're too nervous or they can't keep up with the conversation or they just don't feel comfortable. There's a variety of reasons why a person will not participate in a face-to-face meeting. However, what's great about TeamPut is that you can give people the time to think, to write, to collect their thoughts, to work on this in their own time. And because it gives people a chance to reflect, I would hope that it would kind of ease um, some of the apprehension in some of these brainstorming sessions. It would give people the opportunity to feel like they could participate um, a little bit more actively. And the other thing too is sometimes you get your best ideas in the middle of the night and you're like, shoot, I missed that. I wish I had brought this up in the meeting. Well, since this is like an asynchronous timeless place, you can always go back to the SWOT and add things. So I really like this timelessness, this WYSIWYG. You can drag and drop and move and place it where you need it. You can also show voting. So if somebody likes something, you can see how the community is responding to an idea. You could also show and hide users, zoom in and zoom out, kind of like Prezi. You can undo things and then send it to the trash. Some other cool templates that I really thought were good um, that maybe weren't discussed in our sessions but could see being helpful, especially to transition to a new team, like a start, stop, and continue. This is really a fantastic tool to be doing. You can do it annually, but especially when new leaders are coming in, so what do we need to stop doing? What do we need to start doing? How can we make this place more positive? And what can we continue? What do we really do well? Um, I was working on a mayoral transition team, and this was one activity that they did that I thought was particularly helpful. Um, for education, KWL charts, which are common, Venn diagrams. Um, Importancy urgency matrix was another thing that Charlie had gone over with us that helps us to prioritize what it is we're doing and how we want to stay out of that um, unimportant. Let me zoom out a little bit here. How we want to stay out of this quadrant and over here. It's things that are not urgent and not important. So if we're finding ourselves engaging in these activities, let's say um, gossip or in a school setting talking too much about kids in a non-productive manner, or things that kids had said in class that were just annoying, those are not important and they're not urgent and they're not necessarily telling us on how to improve our practice, so we can avoid those. Um, Venn diagram, project planning, managing risk and identifying risks. Again, all really great um, tools to use that can apply both to the business sector and to the education sector, particularly in terms of change. I thought it was just really good, and we'll definitely be using it if my school project goes according to plan. Thanks a lot.